Are you investing, or are you being hunted? That is the question. Not the question, do you have money? Not the question, do you know the market? Not even the question, are you smart? The real question is this: when you enter the game of money, are you the player, or are you the prey? Because in investing, everyone says they want freedom. Everyone says they want wealth. Everyone says they want passive income. Everyone says they want to escape the rat race. But most people do not enter the market as investors. They enter as food. They bring their savings. They bring their hopes. They bring their fear. They bring their greed. They bring their poor little dream of getting rich quickly. And the market eats them. Slowly, quietly, without emotion. The market does not care about your dream. The market does not care about your family. The market does not care that you worked hard for that money. The market only asks one thing: do you know what you are doing? If the answer is no, you are not investing. You are donating. You are donating your money to someone smarter, calmer, richer, and more patient than you. That is the truth. A brutal truth, but a useful truth. Because the moment you understand your level, you can stop pretending. You can stop acting like a real investor when you are still gambling. You can stop calling luck a strategy. You can stop calling noise research. You can stop calling your fear risk management. Today, we are going to talk about the 8 levels of investing. 8 levels. From the person who gets eaten to the person who controls the game. From prey to player. From emotional beginner to strategic investor. And as you listen, do not ask, which level sounds cool? Ask yourself honestly, where am I right now? Not where I want people to think I am. Not where I pretend to be. Where am I really? Because money does not lie. Your portfolio does not lie. Your habits do not lie. Your reaction to fear does not lie. The market always reveals who you are. Let's begin. Level 1. The consumer. This is the lowest level. At this level, a person does not invest. They consume. They work. They get paid. They spend. They feel tired. They promise to save next month. Then next month comes, and they spend again. New phone, new clothes, new restaurant, new subscription, new useless thing that feels important for 3 days. Then the money is gone. The consumer does not own assets. The consumer owns bills. The consumer does not build wealth. The consumer builds pressure. They think the problem is income. But many times, the problem is not income. The problem is behavior. Give this person more money, and they spend more money. Give them a raise, and they upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger salary, bigger car, bigger rent, bigger ego, same empty bank account. This is why some people earn more but still feel broke. They are not poor because life is impossible. They are poor because every dollar that enters their life leaves immediately. Money comes in, money goes out. Nothing stays, nothing grows, nothing works for them. They are always working for money, but money never works for them. That is level 1, the consumer. At this level, the person is not even in the investment game yet. They are outside the stadium, buying snacks, watching other people play, and complaining that life is unfair. Now, life can be unfair. That is true. But if you consume everything you earn, you make your own prison stronger. You build the walls yourself. One purchase at a time. One excuse at a time. One, I deserve this at a time. And yes, maybe you do deserve comfort. Maybe you do deserve enjoyment. But you also deserve freedom. And freedom has a price. That price is discipline. If you cannot control spending, you cannot control investing. Because investing begins before the first stock, before the first property, before the first fund, before the first business. Investing begins with one simple skill: keeping money. If you cannot keep money, you cannot grow money. Simple, painful, true. Level 2, the saver. The saver is better than the consumer. The saver has started to wake up. This person understands that spending everything is dangerous. So they save. They put money in the bank. They keep cash. They build an emergency fund. They avoid unnecessary debt. This is good. This is important. This is a strong step. The saver is no longer completely helpless. They have some protection. If something happens, they are not destroyed immediately. A car problem, a medical bill, a job loss, a family emergency. The saver can breathe. That matters. Saving is not stupid. Saving is survival. But saving alone is not enough, because money sitting still can become weaker over time. Prices rise. Life gets more expensive. Rent increases. Food increases. Healthcare increases. Education increases. Everything slowly costs more. And if your money does not grow, your money quietly loses power. The saver feels safe, but sometimes that safety is only half real. Imagine you put water in a bucket, but the bucket has a small hole. Every day, a little water disappears. Not all at once, just a little. After months and years, the bucket is much lower. That is what inflation can do to cash. The saver is safer than the consumer. But the saver is not free yet. They have defense. But no offense. They know how to protect money, but not how to multiply it. And here is the dangerous part. Some savers become proud. They look at consumers and say, I am better than them. Maybe yes, but do not become arrogant too early, because if all you do is save, you may survive, but you may not win. Saving is the beginning, not the destination. It is the floor, not the ceiling. A saver must eventually ask a better question. Not only, how can I keep money, but how can I make this money work? That question opens the door to investing. Level 3, the speculator. This is where many people get destroyed. The speculator thinks they are an investor, but they are not. They are a gambler wearing investor clothing. They chase tips. They follow hype. They buy because a friend said, this one will explode. They buy because a YouTuber shouted with confidence. They buy because the price is going up. They buy because they fear missing out. They do not understand the asset. They do not understand risk. They do not understand valuation. They do not understand cycles. They only understand one feeling: greed. And greed is very expensive. The speculator loves exciting words. Next big thing: guaranteed, easy profit, secret opportunity. This coin will go to the moon. This stock will double. This land will never go down. This project is different. This time is different. That phrase is dangerous. This time is different. Many people have lost money because of that phrase. The speculator does not have a plan. They have emotions. When the price goes up, they feel like a genius. When the price goes down, they panic. They buy late. They sell low. They blame the market. They blame whales. They blame banks. They blame the government. They blame manipulation. Sometimes manipulation exists. Yes. But let's be honest. Many people lose money because they enter the game like a fool. No research. No patience. No risk control. No position sizing. No exit plan. Just hope. And hope is not a strategy. Hope is what weak people use when they refuse to think. That sounds harsh. Good. It should sound harsh. Because the market is harsher. The market does not pat you on the back and say, "Poor baby, you tried." No. The market takes your money and moves on. This is the level where people become prey. The speculator is delicious food for the market. They are easy to scare, easy to excite, easy to trap. Show them a green candle and they rush in. Show them a red candle and they run away. They do not buy value. They buy emotion. They do not sell based on logic. They sell based on pain. At level 3, a person may make money sometimes, but it is dangerous because early luck can create false confidence. They win once. They think they are special. They win twice. They think they have talent. Then they bet bigger. Then the market turns and everything disappears. This is how beginners get punished. Not because they lose at first, but because they win too early. Winning without skill is dangerous. It teaches the wrong lesson. It makes a fool feel like a master. If you are at this level, do not lie to yourself. You are not investing yet. You are guessing, and guessing with money is a fast way to become poor with confidence. If this message is hitting you hard, good. That means you are awake. Subscribe to the channel now. Turn on the notification bell. Do not just listen and disappear. Stay here. Learn the game. Build the skill. Stop being prey. Start becoming the kind of person the market cannot easily fool. Now, let's continue. Level 4. The passive investor. This is the first level where real investing begins. The passive investor understands something important. They are not smarter than the whole market. They are not trying to catch every move. They are not trying to predict every crash. They are not trying to become rich next week. They choose patience. They choose consistency. They invest regularly. They may use broad market funds. They may use retirement accounts. They may invest in diversified assets. They may focus on long-term growth. This person is not looking for excitement. They are looking for results. Slow results. Boring results. Real results. And this is where many emotional people fail. They cannot handle boring. They need action. They need drama. They need a chart. They need a hot tip. They need to feel alive. So they keep jumping in and out, in and out. One asset today, another asset tomorrow. They confuse movement with progress. But a passive investor understands this. Sometimes the best action is no action. Sometimes the smartest move is to keep buying, keep holding, keep learning, and stop touching everything like a nervous child. The passive investor knows that time is powerful. Not one day, not 1 week, not 1 month, years, decades. This level requires a different kind of strength. Not the strength to shout, not the strength to show off, the strength to stay calm, the strength to ignore noise, the strength to keep going when the market is down, the strength to keep going when the market is boring, the strength to keep going when someone else is bragging about fast money. Passive investing is simple, but simple does not mean easy. Walking every day is simple. Eating healthy is simple. Sleeping early is simple. Saving money is simple. But many people still fail because they lack discipline. The same is true here. The passive investor wins because they stop trying to be a hero. They stop trying to beat everyone. They accept a system. They follow the system. They let time work. This is a good level, a strong level. For many people, this may be enough. They do not need to become professional investors. They do not need to analyze businesses every night. They do not need to read financial statements for fun. They can build wealth slowly through discipline. And that is honorable. But there are higher levels. Level 5, the informed investor. The informed investor does not just buy. They understand. They study assets. They learn basic financial terms. They understand risk and return. They know the difference between price and value. They understand that a good asset can be a bad investment if bought at the wrong price. Read that again. A good asset can be a bad investment if bought at the wrong price. This is where thinking becomes deeper. The informed investor asks better questions. What am I buying? Why am I buying it? How does it make money? What could go wrong? What is the downside? What is my time horizon? What is my exit plan? How much can I afford to lose? What is the real value? Who benefits if I buy this? Who is selling to me? These questions change everything. Because beginners ask, can this go up? Real investors ask, what is the risk compared to the reward? Beginners ask, is this popular? Real investors ask, is this valuable? Beginners ask, what does everyone think? Real investors ask, what does the evidence show? At this level, a person becomes harder to fool. Not impossible, but harder. They do not trust every headline. They do not trust every influencer. They do not trust every confident voice. They check. They compare. They think. They wait. This level requires humility because the informed investor knows they can be wrong. They do not marry an investment. They do not say, this must work because I love it. No. They say, this is my thesis. If the facts change, I will change. That is maturity. A weak investor wants to be right. A strong investor wants to see clearly. There is a difference. The informed investor also understands risk. Risk is not just price going down. Risk is not understanding what you own. Risk is needing money too soon. Risk is using debt foolishly. Risk is putting everything into one idea. Risk is believing a story without evidence. Risk is being emotional when you should be rational. At level 5, investing becomes less like gambling and more like decision-making. You are still not perfect. You still make mistakes. But your mistakes become smaller. Your thinking becomes sharper. Your reactions become calmer. You stop asking, how do I get rich fast? And you start asking, how do I avoid being stupid for a long time? That question is powerful. Because wealth is not only built by brilliant decisions, it is also built by avoiding disasters. Do not blow up. Do not bet everything. Do not follow blind hype. Do not confuse confidence with truth. Do not let one bad decision destroy 10 years of work. This is the level where a person begins to respect the game, and the game begins to respect them back. Level 6. The strategic investor. Now we move higher. The strategic investor has a system, not just knowledge. A system. They know what they invest in. They know why. They know when to enter. They know when to wait. They know how much to allocate. They know what role each asset plays in their life. They do not see investments as random pieces. They see a portfolio, a structure, a machine. Each part has a job. Some assets are for safety. Some are for growth. Some are for income. Some are for opportunity. Some are for protection. This person thinks like a builder. They are not throwing bricks everywhere. They are building a house. Brick by brick, wall by wall, with a plan. The strategic investor understands allocation. They do not put all money into one idea because they feel excited. They do not go all in because someone online sounds confident. They do not destroy their future for one chance. They manage exposure. They manage cash. They manage risk. They understand that cash is not always lazy. Sometimes cash is optionality. Cash allows you to survive. Cash allows you to buy when others panic. Cash allows you to stay calm when the market gets ugly. The strategic investor does not fear market drops the same way beginners do. Beginners see falling prices and think, I am dying. Strategic investors see falling prices and ask, is there opportunity here? That does not mean they buy everything. That does not mean they are careless. It means they have prepared. They know crashes are part of the game. They know cycles are normal. They know emotion creates opportunity. At this level, a person starts to become a player, not prey. Why? Because prey reacts. Players prepare. Prey panics. Players plan. Prey follows the crowd. Players study the crowd. Prey asks, what is happening to me? Players ask, how can I use this situation intelligently? That is a different mind. The strategic investor also understands personal finance deeply. They know investing is not separate from life. Your income matters. Your spending matters. Your debt matters. Your emergency fund matters. Your insurance matters. Your family situation matters. Your time horizon matters. A 25-year-old investor and a 6-5-year-old investor should not always play the same game. A person with stable income and a person with unstable income should not always take the same risk. A single person and a parent with 3 children may need different levels of protection. Strategy must fit reality, not fantasy. This is where fools expose themselves. They copy someone else's strategy without understanding their own life. They see a rich person take risk and say, I will do the same. But the rich person has reserves. The rich person has cash flow. The rich person has lawyers. The rich person has experience. You have rent due next month. Do not copy the moves. Understand the structure. At level 6, the investor becomes more independent. They can listen to others, but they do not obey blindly. They can learn from experts, but they still think for themselves. They respect advice, but they do not surrender their brain, because no one will care about your money more than you. Remember that. No one will care about your money more than you. Not the broker, not the influencer, not the salesperson, not the friend with a hot tip, not the bank, not the platform. You are responsible. And if you are not willing to be responsible, The market will happily make you pay tuition. Expensive tuition. Level 7. The professional investor. This is a serious level. At this level, investing is no longer a side activity. It becomes a craft, a discipline, a full-time or high-level skill. The professional investor studies deeply. They may analyze companies. They may study real estate markets. They may build financial models. They may understand macro trends. They may study credit. They may understand private deals. They may evaluate businesses. They may manage capital for others. They may specialize. This level requires more than motivation. It requires skill, process, patience, emotional control, and years of learning. The professional investor does not need to sound exciting. They need to be accurate. They need to survive. They need to control risk. They need to understand probabilities. This is important. Investing is not about certainty. It is about probability. A beginner wants a guarantee. A professional knows there is no guarantee. There are only odds, risk, reward, position size, time, behavior. A professional can be wrong and still survive. A beginner is wrong once and gets destroyed. Why? Because the professional manages risk before being wrong. The beginner only thinks about risk after losing money. Too late. The professional investor has rules. They may have a checklist. They may have a research process. They may have limits. They may have a clear way to decide. They do not wake up and say, "I feel like buying this today." Feelings are not enough. They study. They wait. They act when the odds make sense. And sometimes they do nothing. Doing nothing is a professional skill. Most people cannot do nothing. They feel uncomfortable. They want action. They want movement. They want to prove they are doing something. But professionals know patience can be profitable. Waiting can be work. Research can be work. Saying no can be work. Not losing money can be work. The professional investor also understands psychology, their own psychology. They know greed will come. They know fear will come. They know ego will come. They know overconfidence will come after a few wins. They know desperation will come after a few losses. So they build systems to protect themselves from themselves. That is wisdom, because sometimes the biggest enemy is not the market. It is you, your impatience, your ego, your need to be right, your fear of looking stupid, your addiction to excitement, your hatred of boredom, your weakness when the crowd is loud. A professional does not eliminate emotion. They manage it. They do not become a robot. They become disciplined. There is a difference. At this level, the investor may find unique opportunities. They may see things before the crowd, not because they are magical, but because they do the work the crowd is too lazy to do. They read, they compare, they question, they wait, they talk to people, they check numbers, they understand incentives, they look for what others miss. This level is not for everyone. And that is okay. Not everyone needs to become a professional investor, but everyone can learn from the professional mindset. Be serious. Be patient. Be humble. Use your process. Control risk. Do not worship hype. Do not let emotion drive the car. That alone can change your financial life. Level 8. The capital allocator. This is the highest level. At this level, the person is not just investing money. They are directing capital. They are deciding where resources should go. They may own businesses. They may acquire assets. They may fund teams. They may buy companies. They may build systems. They may invest across markets. They may create wealth not just through buying assets, but through controlling assets. This is the level of true players. They do not only ask, "What can I buy?" They ask, "What can I build?" They ask, "What can I control?" They ask, "Where can capital create the greatest value?" They understand money as energy. Money can hire people, build products, buy assets, solve problems, create income, create leverage, create influence. At lower levels, people chase money. At level 8, money becomes a tool, not a master, a tool. The capital allocator understands leverage. Not only debt, many kinds of leverage. People, systems, technology, brand, distribution, knowledge, networks, reputation. A person at this level knows that great wealth often comes from ownership and leverage, not only wages, not only saving, not only buying a few assets, but owning things that grow, owning businesses, owning systems, owning intellectual property, owning distribution, owning assets that produce cash flow. This person does not think small, but they also do not think stupid. Big thinking without discipline is fantasy. Big thinking with skill is power. The capital allocator knows when to use money, when to preserve money, when to take risk, when to step back, when to buy, when to build, when to partner, when to walk away. Walking away is very important. Many weak people cannot walk away. They fall in love with deals. They fall in love with stories. They fall in love with their own imagination. The capital allocator is different. They can say no, even to a good opportunity, because they are waiting for a great one. This is one of the marks of power, the ability to say no. At level 8, the investor is no longer just reacting to the market. They may create opportunities. They may structure deals. They may negotiate. They may attract talent. They may turn ideas into assets. They may turn assets into cash flow. They may turn cash flow into more assets. This is the compounding machine at a higher level. But do not romanticize this level. It is not easy. It requires responsibility. When you control capital, your mistakes can hurt more than yourself. They can affect employees, partners, families, investors, communities. That is why wisdom matters. Character matters. Patience matters. Integrity matters. Because money in the hands of a fool becomes destruction. Money in the hands of a disciplined builder becomes value. So now, let's step back. We have seen 8 levels: the consumer, the saver, the speculator, the passive investor, the informed investor, the strategic investor, the professional investor, the capital allocator. 8 levels, 8 identities, 8 ways to behave with money. Now the question returns. Where are you? Be honest. If you are a consumer, admit it. Do not cry. Do not pretend. Start keeping money. If you are a saver, good. But do not stop there. Learn how money grows. If you are a speculator, wake up. Stop gambling and calling it investing. If you are a passive investor, stay disciplined. Boring can be beautiful. If you are an informed investor, keep learning. Ask better questions. If you are a strategic investor, build your system. Stop reacting. Start preparing. If you are a professional investor, respect the craft. Process beats emotion. If you are a capital allocator, carry responsibility. Build value. Do not just chase returns. Each level has a lesson. The consumer must learn discipline. The saver must learn growth. The speculator must learn humility. The passive investor must learn patience. The informed investor must learn judgment. The strategic investor must learn structure. The professional investor must learn mastery. The capital allocator must learn responsibility. This is the path, not a perfect path, not a fast path, but a real path. And here is something important. You do not move up by pretending. You move up by changing behavior. You cannot say, I am a strategic investor, while buying random assets because of emotion. You cannot say, I am informed, while never reading, never checking, never understanding. You cannot say, I am a player, while panic selling every time the market turns red. Identity follows behavior, not words. The market does not care what you call yourself. It cares how you act, and your actions will place you at the correct level every time. This is why investing is not just about money. It is about character. Can you wait? Can you learn? Can you say no? Can you admit you are wrong? Can you control greed? Can you control fear? Can you think long term? Can you follow a system when emotions are screaming? Can you stay humble after winning? Can you stay calm after losing? That is investing. Not the pretty version, the real version. Most people want wealth without becoming the person who can handle wealth. They want returns without discipline. They want freedom without sacrifice. They want opportunities without preparation. They want to win the game without learning the rules. That is childish, and the market punishes childish people hard. So do not be childish. Do not be weak. Do not be the person who complains after doing no work. Do not be the person who loses money and says, nobody told me. I am telling you now, the game is real. The risk is real. The opportunity is real. And your responsibility is real. You do not need to become rich overnight. You do not need to beat everyone. You do not need to act like a genius. You need to get better. Level by level. Habit by habit. Decision by decision. Start where you are. If you spend everything, save something. If you only save, start learning. If you speculate, slow down and build rules. If you invest passively, stay consistent. If you are informed, deepen your research. If you are strategic, refine your system. If you are professional, sharpen your edge. If you allocate capital, build with wisdom. That is how you move. Not by dreaming, not by shouting, not by watching one video and feeling inspired for 5 minutes. By doing the work again and again and again. Money rewards behavior over time. Bad behavior compounds. Good behavior compounds too. If you spend foolishly every month, the result compounds. If you save every month, the result compounds. If you invest with patience, the result compounds. If you study and improve, the result compounds. If you control risk, the result compounds. If you build assets, the result compounds. Compounding is not only financial, your habits compound. Your knowledge compounds. Your mistakes compound. Your discipline compounds. Your courage compounds. Your laziness compounds too. Be careful what you repeat, because what you repeat becomes your future. Now, imagine two people. Both are 30 years old. Both earn the same income. The first person consumes everything. They buy to feel better. They avoid learning. They chase hype. They panic. They blame others. The second person saves first, learns slowly, invests consistently, avoids stupid risks, builds skills, controls emotion. After 1 year, the difference may look small. After 5 years, the difference is clear. After 20 years, they live in different worlds. Same income, different behavior, different level, different life. That is why you must stop looking only at how much money someone earns. Look at how they behave with money. Income is important, but behavior decides what remains. And what remains is what builds wealth. The prey thinks only about the next move. The player thinks about the whole game. The prey wants fast money. The player wants lasting power. The prey follows noise. The player follows process. The prey reacts. The player prepares. The prey is controlled by fear and greed. The player uses fear and greed as signals. The prey asks, "What is everyone buying?" The player asks, "What is worth owning?" The prey wants excitement. The player wants advantage. The prey wants to look rich. The player wants to become free. This is the difference. And it is not small. It changes everything. So ask yourself again, are you prey or are you becoming a player? Do not answer too quickly. Look at your last 10 money decisions. Did you spend to impress? Did you buy because of fear? Did you sell because of panic? Did you invest without understanding? Did you ignore risk? Did you follow the crowd? Did you avoid learning because it felt boring? Did you choose comfort over discipline? Your answer is there, not in your words, in your behavior. But here is the good news. Your level is not your prison. It is your starting point. A consumer can become a saver. A saver can become an investor. A speculator can become disciplined. A passive investor can become informed. An informed investor can become strategic. A strategic investor can become professional. A professional can become a capital allocator. You can move, but only if you stop lying to yourself. That is the first payment. Honesty. After honesty comes education. After education comes discipline. After discipline comes experience. After experience comes judgment. After judgment comes power. And power is not loud. Real power is calm. It does not need to brag. It does not need to chase every trend. It does not need to prove itself in every conversation. Real power can wait. Real power can say no. Real power can watch the crowd panic and stay steady. Real power can see opportunity where others see only fear. Real power can protect capital, grow capital, and use capital with purpose. That is the goal. Not just to have money, but to become the kind of person who knows what to do with money. Because money without wisdom is dangerous. It can make fools louder. It can make greed bigger. It can make mistakes more expensive. But money with wisdom can build a better life. It can buy time. It can protect family. It can create options. It can support health. It can fund ideas. It can help others. It can give you freedom to live with dignity. That is why investing matters. Not because numbers on a screen are exciting, not because charts look cool, not because you want to brag. Investing matters because life is short. Energy is limited. Time moves fast. And one day, you may not want to trade your hours for money forever. One day, you may want your money to carry part of the load. One day, you may want choices. Where to live, how to work, who to help, what to build, when to rest. That is freedom, and freedom is worth learning for. So begin. Not perfectly, not loudly, not with fake confidence. Begin honestly. Look at your level. Accept it. Then move one step higher. One step. Not 8 steps in one day. One step. Stop wasting money. Build an emergency fund. Study one asset. Understand one term. Create one rule. Make one long-term plan. Avoid one stupid decision. Say no to one hype trap. Hold one good habit longer. That is how you grow. Small steps. Repeated steps, serious steps. And when the market tests you, remember this. It will test you with greed. It will show you people getting rich fast. It will make you feel late. It will make you want to rush. Do not rush. It will test you with fear. Prices will fall. News will be ugly. People will panic. You will doubt yourself. Do not break. It will test you with boredom. Nothing will happen. Progress will feel slow. Your plan will feel too simple. Do not abandon it. It will test you with ego. You will win sometimes. You will feel smart. You will want to bet bigger. Do not become stupid after success. That is the test. Greed, fear, boredom, ego. Pass those tests, and you grow. Fail those tests, and you pay. The market is a teacher, but the tuition can be brutal. So learn before you bleed too much. Now, let us close this with something simple. You do not have to be prey. You do not have to be the person who buys late and sells in panic. You do not have to be the person who works for decades and owns nothing. You do not have to be the person who watches every opportunity from the outside. You do not have to be the person who says, "I wish I knew earlier." You are hearing this now. That is your advantage. Use it. Wake up. Learn the levels. Find your level. Move higher. Do it slowly. Do it seriously. Do it with discipline. Because the market has enough prey, it does not need you to be one more. Become a player. Not a loud player. Not a fake player. Not a show-off. A real player. Calm. Patient. Educated. Disciplined. Strategic. The kind of person who does not get pulled by every wave. The kind of person who does not panic when the crowd screams. The kind of person who knows that wealth is not built by one lucky moment. It is built by better decisions repeated over time. So today, do not just listen. Do one thing. Check your level. Write it down. Level 1. Level 2. Level 3. Be honest. Then write the next level. That is your target. Not someday. Now. One level higher. One better habit. One smarter decision. One less excuse. And if this message helped you, subscribe now. Stay with this channel. Learn the game. Protect your money. Build your mind. Move from prey to player. Step by step, day by day, decision by decision. Because your future is not built by what you say you want. It is built by what you do with the money in your hands today.